My late husband, Jack Kroustalis, always enjoyed growing things. We bought this acreage in 1972. It was Daddy's farm until about 1988, which is when it became Westbend Vineyards, the business. Up until 1988, he had enjoyed his leisurely evenings away from work, growing vegetables, fruit trees, but always the vineyards. He planted vineyards from the beginning, and they were always his focus, but they remained a hobby until 1988. So we are in a little community that was known as Westbend, and we were searching around for the right thing to call this vineyard, and we wanted to call it something important that would stay. And Westbend, of course, because the old timers who live out here know that this was Westbend at one time. It was never a town, but it was a community. There was a Westbend school, Westbend church. That Westbend was 2 words. When we decided to name our vineyard Westbend, put them together to make that difference. So Westbend Vineyards is capital W and no capital B. The decision was made to plant the kind of grapes that made the sort of wine that we liked to drink. Even though those varietals of grapes had not been grown in this state in a commercial way until Westbend did it. And I think, if anything, that's the most important thing we did for a wine industry in this state. Vitis vinifera is the French category. They are classic French grapes, but we tend to consider them California because we know Chardonnay and Merlot and Riesling and Cabernet and those varieties as coming from great wineries in California. But they originated in France. And in fact, all of the vines that you plant originally, the rootstock will come from France before it comes to a nursery in this country, because they're certified to be that kind of grape. And the truth is that I think I can say that we at Westbend were pioneers in the growing of the vinifera varietals in this state. Everyone who is growing it now, and there are over 100 wineries in the state, have also learned and are succeeding and producing some very nice wines. Our vineyards here at Westbend are mature because the original vineyard, having been planted many years ago, before we became a commercial winery. But by the time we got to 1988 and became Westbend Vineyards, the business, we already had 30 acres of vineyards. The good thing about vineyards is that they get old and they produce very high quality fruit as long as they can stay healthy. As you go out the gate, you'll see this 1850 cabin, and that's called the Joel Benjamin Hooser House. It's our label. It has been our logo from day one. This initial purchase was 1972. That was bought in 1986. And you couldn't even see the house from the road because it had really been covered in vines and little shrubby trees. Jack wanted that 25 acres over there to put vineyards on. So when we began clearing the area, we found this beautiful cabin, which we thought, well, we'll probably have to just knock it down. But it has 12-inch thick walls. It was just not going to be knocked down. So we restored it. It was built in 1850 by Joel Benjamin Hooser. Now, everywhere else in the world, Hauser is pronounced Hauser, but not in Forsyth County. It's Hooser. And I'll let anybody take that up with the other Hoosers that are here. Don't you love it? Before Westbend was actually Westbend, when it was still Daddy's farm, its purpose was to provide that escape. 15 minutes from Winston-Salem, an hour from Charlotte, maybe 30, 45 minutes from Greensboro. We are so close to metropolitan areas, and here is this little oasis. This is country. You're sort of taken when you get off 421 and come down Shallowford Road and turn onto Williams Road and see this all around. It's like, gosh, I thought I was in the city a few minutes ago, and here you are. And so I think that's priceless, personally. And it does alter your life. It's wonderful. I've spent my life here. Whoever does assume the responsibility and the benefit of owning this place will put their own stamp on it. It'll be theirs. It won't be mine anymore. But they can take it and run with it, make it special in their way.